get underway. The first section is TV live content. Second section, embargoed written. If you're not asking a question, make sure you're on mute, please. Okay, we'll get underway.
Hi Simon, how's it going? You get over to Paris last night and I see you trained at the Stade de France this morning. Everyone come through okay?
Yeah, everyone came through well, Sinead. No issues. It's a great surface. Looks like it's going to be a fast track as well, so hopefully the weather stays fine for tomorrow.
You didn't get caught in that lockdown traffic when you arrived in Paris last night. What was it like over there?
We did get caught a little bit, but yeah, it was fine. Yeah, there was no issues. We were in early enough and we made it in time to get well fed when we arrived. So yeah, it's not too bad now. There is still a little bit of traffic around, but it's we made it in and out of the stadium pretty well when we went to the team run. So no, it feels like normality for us at the moment.
What's it going to be like for tomorrow? Obviously, the England game beforehand. You know, will you be keeping an eye out on that? Obviously, while you do your warm up, or what will it be like?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think we can't control that, and I know it's probably been said lots of times. We can only control what we can do. Naturally, people have an eye on what's going on, but ultimately, unless we do our job, then whatever happens elsewhere is irrelevant. So we have to focus on what we can control, and that means getting ourselves right in the warm up and starting the game as well as we can.
Simon, Michael Corcoran here. Just on that theme, there's a lot of chat during the course of this week about bonus point wins and everything like that, but how important is it that you try and lock that out of your head and concentrate on the job at hand, and that's to win the test match first?
Exactly, Michael. Yeah, I think if you go chasing things, then often that can be a distraction. So we must start the game well. We must take opportunities when they arise, and sometimes we might go the corner if we get opportunities. Other times we may kick the goals, and try and build a score. I don't think coming to Paris and getting a win is something that the Irish teams haven't had huge success over the last 20 years. But we saw in 2018 that we stayed in a game and we were able to effectively win a game late on. That may well be the case tomorrow. May well that the game opens up a little bit. So we have to focus on winning the game first, Michael, and then after that we reassess probably half time, and as the game's going, the players have full license to make good decisions on the pitch and the right times, and Johnny and the other leaders will do that as they see fit.
Now, you've been to Paris before, to Stade de France as a player, been there as a coach. I mean, what's unique about the place? And what are the lessons you've learned over the years about playing there?
The crowd would have been unique for some players to experience, but that's going to be a bit unique for players not to experience that. But there'll be players that have been there in the past, Michael, and have won. There'll be players that have been there in the past and have lost. But there will also be a lot of players that won't have been there before, and they won't have any hang-ups about the Stade de France. It's clearly an impressive place. When we arrived there today, players who haven't been there before took it all in, but there shouldn't be a fear factor of going there, because a lot of them haven't had those experiences that I might have had as a player at certain times. I think it just presents a cracking opportunity for us tomorrow to go and express ourselves and win a game of rugby, and then off the back of that, if we need to get certain things out of the game, then we'll obviously have to do that. But what an opportunity! Super Saturday is set up so nicely. It's taken 7 or 8 months to get to this point for us, but after the performance last week and the work that the players have put in this week to get ourselves into this position, I can't wait to see them go out and perform tomorrow.
Merci, bon match.
No problem.
Simon, I'm just thinking about the breakdown interpretations and changes in the laws, and how that's maybe helped you guys. Obviously, you pick accordingly, but you've got so many guys in your pack who are so strong over the ball, and it seemed like against Italy, working really well as a unit to be able to take advantage of that situation at the breakdown. How pleased are you with how that's going, and especially in regard to obviously the newer guys coming into that mix?
Yeah, I think that's it's definitely a strength of ours, but it's also an area that we need to make sure that we're spot on the other side of the ball against the French side that has plenty of guys that can do that. The work that's gone in since we finished pre-lockdown, the laws haven't changed, but they've been enforced or amended slightly, and I think that has given an advantage to a team that can get a player on the ground and isolate him and get on the ball quicker, and that player has been rewarded sooner than it might have been when we were playing previously in the Six Nations before lockdown. But a lot of that work has been done in the provinces, and I think that's credit to the guys that have gone away. They've worked at their game. We've seen that post lockdown when they played a lot of rugby against each other and had the reward of that work in the contact, in the defensive contact area. So it's certainly a strength of ours, but it's certainly an area that we have to be mindful of with the French as well. We were happy with lots of the areas of that contact area against Italy, but France will be a different beast again, and we make sure that we have to win those collisions to allow us to do some damage to their ball speed and potentially turnover.
And you're talking about the guys now don't really have any fear factor of going to somewhere like the south of France. Just thinking with that in mind, obviously James Ryan probably falls into that category, doesn't he? He hasn't really had many games that haven't really gone the way he would have wanted. Can you just give us a word how you think he's progressing? He seems to be improving all the time, and he's going into a real leader for you.
He is, yeah. I mean, he sets incredibly high standards for himself and for others. I certainly I can't speak for him in terms of him being, I guess, there'll be games where he has come off the pitch and won and still been hugely disappointed in some aspects of the game because he's got such incredibly high standards, and he's developed himself and around others into becoming a really strong integral part of our team as a leader, both in what he says but also more importantly in what he does, and I think that's a compliment to James from all the players. They want to follow him in everything he does. He has taken on responsibility, both at Leinster and with us, and he's taken it in his stride. There's not many places that he'd fear going to, and I think that's the mark of the man himself, that he's a young man in age, but certainly in terms of what he's able to deliver at a young age, he's certainly going in the right direction, and he's someone that everyone wants to follow into battle.
Okay, I'll take the last one in this section.
Simon, just wondering, kind of France more or less know what they have to do already, regardless of the Italy-England result. How much of your team preparation has been spent on the opening 10 or 20 minutes, whereas we've seen France before, they can fly out of the blocks? So how much of your team preparation is spent on the opening segment?
I think that's been something that we've certainly reviewed during lockdown as coaches, and how we can start the games with more impact and not allow the opposition to get into the stride, like you say. The French, once they get momentum, they become a very difficult team to deal with. So it's certainly an area that we have focused for, not just with the French, but with other teams that were maybe in the recent history we haven't started the games as well as we should have done. So we have to make sure that we're prepared right, and that means making good decisions at early stages of the game, so that we're not chasing things early on. That we get on the front foot, and there will be times when we play a certain way, and there'll be other times when we have to adapt and be able to play a slightly different way. And I think that first 20 minutes in any game, and it's the facts are there for all to see in terms of how many teams win games off the back of winning that first 20 minutes, and on the flip side of that, how many teams lose having not done well in the first 20 minutes. So it's crucial that we get that good start, and we're building up to that, and hopefully that's something that we've put into place over the last couple of weeks since we come back together.
Thanks.
Okay, guys, we're going to move on to the embargoed written section.